Superman, Legacy 2025, is one of the most talked about superhero movies in years. Directed by James Gunn, it's already surrounded by excitement, rumors, and a lot of myths. But what's true and what's just hype? Today, we're going to break it all down, separating fact from fiction. Now, let's start with the biggest myth of them all. Many fans believed Superman Legacy was going to be another origin story, just like the earlier Superman movies we've seen. But that's not true. James Gunn has confirmed multiple times that this isn't an origin story. Instead, the movie shows us a Superman who is already active, someone who has been saving people, balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing in Smallville. So no, we're not getting the classic crash landing baby from Krypton retold all over again. The second big myth is about the actor playing Superman. For months, people kept saying Henry Cavill would return in the role. There were so many rumors online, so many fan edits, and even fake news stories. But the fact is simple. Henry Cavill is not in this film. The new Superman is played by David Corenswet. Gunn wanted someone who could bring a fresh, younger, and more hopeful version of the character. Corenswet is stepping into one of the most iconic roles in cinema history, and fans are already comparing his look to a blend of Christopher Reeve's classic Superman with modern energy. Now, another rumor was that this film would continue the darker, more serious tone of Zack Snyder's Superman. People assumed we'd get another brooding, heavy, and intense Man of Steel. But the truth is the complete opposite. James Gunn has been very clear that this Superman is brighter, more optimistic, and more hopeful. In his own words, Superman is kind in a world that thinks of kindness as old-fashioned. That's a huge shift in tone, and it shows how different Legacy will feel compared to Man of Steel or Batman v Superman. And finally, let's tackle the myth that the movie is just about Superman and Lex Luthor. A lot of fans thought this would be a simple showdown, the Man of Steel versus his greatest enemy. But the fact is, this film is much bigger. We're getting other heroes and characters introduced like Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and the Engineer. Superman. Legacy isn't just about Superman versus Lex. It's also about opening the door to a larger DC universe. So, in just these first myths, we can already see the truth. Superman. Legacy is not an origin story, it's not Henry Cavill's return, it's not dark and brooding, and it's not just about Lex Luthor. It's a fresh, hopeful take on Superman and the official beginning of a brand new DC universe. So now that we've busted some of the biggest myths around Superman, Legacy 2025, let's move on to the real facts, the things that have been officially confirmed and that make this movie such an important milestone for DC fans. First, let's talk about the story and tone. Unlike past Superman films that either retold the origin or leaned into darker themes, Legacy takes a different approach. This time, Superman is already established as Earth's protector. The story isn't about how he became Superman, but about how he lives as Superman, balancing two sides of himself. On one hand, he's Clark Kent, raised in Kansas with strong human values. On the other, he's Kal-El, the last son of Krypton, with powers and responsibilities that no human can imagine. This clash of identities is at the heart of the movie. James Gunn has described it as Superman trying to live as a bridge between two worlds. The tone is also something fans are paying close attention to. Gunn has emphasized that this Superman will embody hope, optimism, and warmth. He's not going to be feared, he's going to inspire. Gunn even said, Superman is kindness in a world that thinks of kindness as old-fashioned. That's the type of character we're getting, not a grim savior, but a symbol of light in a cynical world. Now let's dive into the cast, because the lineup is packed with talent. Leading the movie is David Corenswet as Superman. He's the 12th actor to play the role, and his look already has fans excited. Many are calling him the perfect mix of classic Superman charm and modern realism. Then we have Rachel Brosnahan, known for her role in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, playing Lois Lane. She's sharp, fearless, and a perfect match for Clark Kent. Nicholas Hoult plays Lex Luthor, and this is a casting that fans are really curious about. Hoult is bringing a grounded, menacing version of Lex, closer to the ruthless businessman and manipulator we know from the comics, rather than the eccentric versions we've seen before. But the movie doesn't stop with Superman, Lois, and Lex. We also meet other DC heroes for the first time. Isabella Merced plays Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner, one of the Green Lanterns, Anthony Carrigan is Mr. Terrific, and Maria Gabriela de Faria plays the Engineer, a character tied to the Authority. These aren't just cameos, they're part of the bigger plan. And that leads us to the bigger picture. Superman Legacy is the first movie in the new DCU roadmap designed by James Gunn and Peter Safran. This roadmap is called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Superman isn't just another film. It's the official starting point for this new universe. That means what happens in Legacy will directly affect upcoming movies and shows. We're already looking at projects like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, The Authority, and of course more Superman stories in the future. So, when people say this movie is important, they're right. It's not only giving us a new Superman, it's launching an entire connected universe. One that's meant to rival Marvel's MCU but with its own unique identity. So far, we've separated myths from facts and taken a deep dive into the story, cast, and the bigger DC universe. Now let's talk about the bigger truths, the impact Superman Legacy is already having, how critics and fans are reacting, and what it really means for the future of Superman and the DCU. When the first screenings came out, critics praised the film for something very specific: its heart. Superman Legacy brings back a side of Superman that many fans have been missing. A hero who inspires, who believes in people, and who fights for hope. The movie doesn't just show Superman's power, it shows his kindness. And that's something critics say makes this version stand out from all the rest. Of course, it's not all perfect. Some reviews mention that the movie tries to do too much at once by introducing so many new characters alongside Superman. Others point out that certain action scenes rely heavily on CGI. But overall, the reaction has been more positive than negative. Most agree that this is a fresh, new beginning for Superman. Fans, on the other hand, are a little more divided. Some are still attached to Henry Cavill's Superman and the darker tone of the Snyder era. For them, it's hard to let go of that version. But many others are embracing David Corenswet's Superman, praising his resemblance to the classic Christopher Reeve style, inspiring, hopeful, and truly heroic. The split reactions show just how much Superman means to people. Now let's dig into the bigger truths behind all of this. First, Superman is still the centerpiece of DC. No matter how many Batman or Joker movies we get, Superman remains the foundation of the DC universe. With Legacy, Gunn is reestablishing Superman as the leader, the heart, and the symbol of everything this new DCU wants to be. Second, James Gunn's vision for Superman is more than just another reboot. He's making Superman the emotional core of the DCU, the way Iron Man was for Marvel. If Superman Legacy works, it sets the tone for everything that comes after. If it fails, the entire DCU reboot could stumble. That's how high the stakes are. And third, all of these myths, rumors, and debates prove one thing. People still care deeply about Superman. Whether they're arguing about Cavill, debating the tone, or worrying about the future of the DCU, the passion is there. And that passion is exactly why Superman matters. So, after breaking it all down, here's the truth. Superman Legacy 2025 isn't just a movie. It's a symbol of hope, a fresh beginning, and a promise that Superman will always stand for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Now I want to hear from you. Which myth surprised you the most? Do you think David Corenswet will become the definitive Superman of this generation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of myths versus facts, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next deep dive. Because here on Myth and Facts, we'll always bring you the truth behind the rumors.